In Football Manager, it's not always guaranteed that when you sign a young player that they will do well. Often I've picked up Wonderkids in the past that just don't seem to click at a club and don't seem to perform to the levels that I would have expected. But today, we're going to forget about those guys as we're going to be looking at 10 players that I think always do well for me in FM. These are Meta Wonderkids. But what do we mean by Meta Wonderkids? Well, of course, all of these guys are young players with high potential, all of which I think can impact your teams very quickly and do well in the in-game engine, whether it's because they've got a really balanced set of attributes or there's just a few specific attributes in their game that makes them really good, whether it's pace, strength, aerial ability, whatever it might be. I think all of these guys are perfect players to sign in FM. Before we continue with the video though, just to let you know, I'm using the standard Football Manager database here after the winter update. If you do want to play FM24 as it would have been in FM25 had it came out with updated squads, so you can find our FM24 to FM25 DLC linked in the description below. But fear not, only one of the 10 players in this list is actually playing for a different team now after that update, so no matter which of the databases you're using, you should still find these players are available and still top signings. But I guess we should start with that one player that I mentioned has moved clubs, and that is a Chilean forward who was playing for Universidad Católica but has now moved to Grêmio in Brazil. This is a Chilean international, Alexander ARvina, and even for you guys on the updated database, I think he is a great signing. He is someone that always performs well for me in the match engine, always scores goals. I've picked him up on a few of my own rebuilds, which if you want to check them out, you can find that on my channel, also linked in the description down below. But yes, ARvina, I always find is a very good player to pick up, not just because he's a bargain at only 4 or 5 million, but he has some great attributes in game that make him perform really well. I don't ever think he'll be like a Man City starting striker, but if you're, say, a mid-table Premier League team, I think that's the kind of level that he can pretty comfortably get up to. He's got great ability when it comes to his technicals with good finishing, first touch and dribbling, the holy trinity of attributes all at a good level. Combine that with some good passing ability, set piece ability as well with penalties, corners, crossing and free kicks, also part of his game, and he's got really strong mental attributes too, which means that he'll make the right decisions on many an occasion. Now, I think actually he'd be really good maybe on the left as a winger, cutting in on that right foot either as an inside forward or an inverted winger. He could do a great job. His natural position is a striker. He does do a great job there, even if physically there are some elements of his game that he's lacking, but he's got a decent amount of pace to go alongside everything else, and for that price you are going to get a very good forward here. And remember, all of these guys are Wonderkids, so they're only going to get better in your save unless you do something crazy to them or they get some kind of major injury. So he'll get even better than this. He's always a great signing and definitely one that's worth keeping an eye on. And he's one of 10 players that we will be looking at today. But before we continue, I want you guys to let us know in the comments your favourite Wonderkid that you've used this year, and then hopefully we can make a follow-up to this video with your suggestions as well. So drop them down below, and whilst you're there, don't forget to like the video if you are enjoying or you get some use out of it, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. A player that I've only recently discovered though is this 19-year-old Japanese national by the name of, and I might butcher this, but I'll give it my best shot, Kotato. Now he is someone that again I have only recently discovered, but I thought straight away I need to show him to you guys. He's at FC Tokyo, he's available for a few million, and whilst he isn't necessarily a top tier Wonderkid who will go on to, you know, play for Real Madrid's and Barcelona's, he is someone that will perform for you no matter what. Now you might look at him and think, you know, he's a left mid natural, that's not really a position I want to use, there's a lot of weak attributes in there, and I would say fair enough, that's all valid criticism, but this player can be exceptional if trained correctly. Now I'd seen him a few years into a save when he developed a little bit more than this, because he is already a regular starter at FC Tokyo, and at that point he was natural on the left wing. Now I think most people will be using wingers and not wide midfielders, so I think that's the best place to start training him, and then he's good with both feet as well, so you can really choose any role that you would like, but I think winger on the attack duty would suit him perfectly. Now crossing wise, it's not all there. You might look at his passing as well and think it's not that great, his finishing ability, the vision's not awesome either, but trust me, this guy smashes it in the engine, and the reason is he is a brilliant dribbler who is also very quick. With 15 pace, he's got stamina as well, so he'll be going all game, but he is agile and he has got that acceleration too, so he's basically a very quick winger with direct dribbling. But within a season or so, because he is playing regularly for Tokyo, if you then go and sign him and scout him, he will have a few more 16s in his attributes, and you will find that in the game engine, fullbacks really struggle with him because he is so direct. He's either-footed. I guess you could make the comparison to Brighton's Matoma because, of course, he's Japanese and he's a dribbler, a fast dribbler. But yes, he's really good with both feet. Defenders can't handle him. He's going to dribble around them either way with his agility, with his pace, with his stamina. He's going to be playing all match long, constantly going at his fullback. And I think he is a great option and someone that isn't spoken about enough, particularly when he's only going to cost £3 million or so. He's in the Japanese division, so even if you're in, say, the Championship of England, he might be someone that you can pick up and get great results from. So hopefully I've convinced you to give him a go, but a player that I shouldn't need any convincing to tell you is a good player is this lad, Nicolas Romero, a 19-year-old Argentine defender playing for Atletico Tucumán out in Argentina. Now, he's a left-footed defender, which is always nice to come across. He can do the standard defensive job with great tackling, marking and positioning, but also he can do the ball-playing side of the game too, with 12 passing, vision and technique at a good level also. So you've already got that going for him. He's 19 with great mental attributes, but physically, he has got everything he could need. I mean, he's good in the air. Obviously, we know he can head the ball as well with 13 heading. He's fairly quick and he is strong. He's 6'1", which isn't the tallest in the world, but even if he did not grow at all after you signed him, you would get some fantastic results out of this player because he is that good. Now, he's available for about £3 million as well, so that is a bargain fee, and you could see why all of these Premier League clubs already want Romero. He is such a talented player that all of these teams are interested in him, some of the best teams in the Premier League. He is a phenomenal defender, someone that is good straight away, but within a couple of years will be one of the world's best, and I still don't think he's really talked about enough. He'll be an Argentinian international, great attributes to start off with, and he only gets better than this, so he is someone that I suggest you all check out, and he will never let you down in-game. But we're going from one South American defender to another. This is Uruguayan 19-year-old Sebastian playing for River Plate out in Argentina also. Now, just like Romero that we looked at, there is a lot going for Baselli here. He's going to cost you about £8 million, which for the level of play you're getting is still a bargain fee. He is versatile, can play right back, left back, but I think centre back is the place to try this guy because yes, he's 6 foot and some people might be put off by that, but he's got great jumping reach and great heading, which will kind of counteract the fact that he is small. Now, crossing wise, you might argue that fullback could be a good place for him, but I just think an either-footed defender who can defend really well with 15 tackling, good positioning and marking, combined with ball playing ability, determination, aerial ability, a bit of physical strength, a bit of pace as well. I don't think you can ask for too much more. Now, he could be a very good inverted fullback who basically comes in and operates as an extra centre-back, but I think either way, wherever you use him in the defence, he will do wonders for you. He's a player that I think many people have stumbled across in FM this year. It looks like he's going to have a big future in the real world game and in FM, but for me, Sebastian Baselli is one of the best defensive wonderkids in the whole game if you're looking for just straight performances right out the blocks. A player that's came up in a few videos that we've done throughout this year on FM is this man, Andy Diouf, and I'll recommend him until I can no longer recommend players because this French 20-year-old is exceptional. Now, all I need to say is that he is a future France international in FM, and that should sell you already for about 15 million, knowing how good France's international team is. But let me sell the player to you a little bit more if that wasn't enough. He's 20 years of age and he's at Lens. Now, it says he's a breakthrough prospect. I think he'll be playing football for them pretty soon. Most of the time in Season 1, he gets that game time because at 20, you won't see many better physical profiles than this. He's 6'2", but with very good physical attributes. He's strong, he's quick, he's also got great jumping reach as well, so you already know that's a physical, filled-out presence in the midfield. He works hard, he's good with the ball at his feet when it comes to passing, he can dribble, he's got good first touch, and a nice long shot on him. He's left-footed, and whilst he might not be the best goal scorer with only 7 finishing, as a box-to-box midfielder, he can do a great job. He's a bit Paul Pogba-esque in terms of that presence that he will have in the midfield, and remember, at only 20, he's got time to grow, so before you know it, all of these technical attributes will go up, the mentals will as well, and you'll have a prospect that matches in these areas as good as he does in his physical attributes. He is an unreal player, he's got some nice player traits to go alongside his game as well, and at full growth, he can be one of the most complete midfielders in the world. Box-to-box profiles are really hard to come across in terms of really top-tier ones, and I think Andy Diouf, for £15 million or so, is certainly one of those players that I would say, if you've got the money, get him in. But maybe you're after someone a little bit more technically gifted to play alongside him, someone that can really dictate a game. Well, that's where this young player comes in, one that I absolutely loved in my save with Sassuolo. It's Luca. Lipani. Now, he's 18 years of age, and of course, like I said, at Sassuolo, either in Serie A, if you're on the standard database, or if you're on the updated database, you'll find them now in Serie B, and maybe he's available for even cheaper because of that. But he's only going to cost you £6 million or so. He can play as a 6 or in that central midfield position. And once again, I will sing this guy's praises till I no longer can. Like Andy Diouf, he's a physical presence. 6'2", maybe not physically as strong in any particular area as Andy Diouf was, but he is good at everything, which definitely benefits his game. There is no real flaw in there. He is strong in all areas. The one that I really want to point out though is the jumping reach combined with the heading ability. You'll see a lot of these attributes and assume because he is so good on the ball, he must be some like little small midfielder. No, he's 6'2", he's strong, he's great in the air, and that bodes well for someone that's going to protect your defense. Now, on top of that, mentally, I will say is the one area where he needs a lot of work. I would not put him as a box-to-box midfielder with only 9 work rate, but at 18, he's younger than most, and he's got plenty of time to get better yet. Between the age of 18 and 20, you're going to see a lot of growth in some of these areas, but if he had no growth in his technicals, I don't think anybody would complain, because already he is a brilliant set-piece taker with 15 free kicks and decent penalties, but he's a great creator with 14 passing and 14 technique. He's got some long shots on him as well, a long throw if you need that. He can do the defensive side of the game fairly well too, with good marking and positioning. Yes, the tackling could be better, but I think we can forgive that for everything else that he has to his game. Good first touch and dribbling. I think if you had a midfield pairing of Andy Diouf doing all the hard work and then Lipani maybe creating chances and linking the game up, you would have a very strong midfield. And again, do bear in mind, he is 18. When he is a few years older, he will be one of Italy's best players if you give him the chance to grow. Sometimes Sassuolo don't, and it might be up to you to develop him, but if you get your chance, sign him, and you will see him turn into one of the world's best. So we've covered a few unique physical profiles in the last few players, but I think this guy might be the best of them all, because you look at Asen here, who is a player at Real Betis. He's 17 years of age, and he's available for 12 million, and you always assume with a winger, especially when he's got good dribbling, that he is going to be, you know, a little small guy running past people, but Diao is not one of those. He's actually really well built. He's 6'1", and at 17, remember, 17 years of age, he's already got physical attributes that look like this, with exceptional pace and acceleration. He's really strong, and he's good in the air as well, which you don't often see from a wide player, particularly one that's only 17, so these are going to get better yet, and you will have an elite physical presence on the wing. Now with Diao, I will openly admit his technicals and mentals are something that you might want to get better. They're not great just yet, but those physical attributes, we all know in FM this year, physical attributes seem to trump everything else. So if you've got Diao here, he's going to do really well no matter the mental, no matter the technical, and over time, you will see these get better anyway. He's the youngest in this list at 17, so don't judge him harshly yet. Just look at those attributes, the physicals. He's either-footed, and I can tell you, this guy goes on to be a beast. And apparently as well, if you really want him to, he can supposedly play centre-back. I'm not necessarily sure I would go for that, but Asen on the wing is someone that I think you should all check out in your saves. The only out-and-out fullback in this video, though, is this next recommendation that I'm giving you. It is Denzo Casas of AZ Alkmaar. Now, I think his value is way less than it should be just because he's in the Eredivisie and he's not at, you know, an Ajax or a PSV. At AZ, they seem to value their players pretty low, but Casas is someone that I think is worth splashing around £10 million on, because physically, you are getting an uber-quick fullback who works really hard too. Now, fullbacks this year, that's the one thing that I look for straight away, the pace element of the game, but also how hard they're going to work. And with 15 stamina and 15 work rate, he's going to be bombing it up and down that touchline on a constant basis. Now, defensively, I think he is lacking a little bit. Positioning, marking, need work, and you will have to get him there, but in terms of being an attacking presence from that wing-back position, he'll cause damage. He's a good passer, he's got good first touch, the vision, the technique, the dribbling, the crossing, a real modern-day fullback. He'll forget about defending a little bit and just absolutely go for it. You could even use him in this actual wing-back spot and not just that right-back, but if you're looking for a forward-thinking defender, Casas is someone that I think does a great job. He's getting football as well already at AZ Alkmaar. It's not like he's going to stunt his growth and not play, so get a scout on him, see how he gets on, either sign him straight away or wait a season or so, maybe get him a little bit cheaper, but Casas is someone that I think could play at some of the highest levels, some of the best teams in the world. Some players just seem to have a knack in FM of doing really well, and I think Anon Cade is one of them. He's a German 19-year-old at Swiss club Basel, and in this save is wanted by Bayern, AC Milan, Inter Milan and Juventus, which shows you there is a talent here. Now he plays on the left, he cuts in on his right, so you know what he's going to be, either an inverted winger or an inside forward. Now, because the crossing's at 10 and the finishing's at 10, you can kind of go for whatever your team wants. Start training him into that role, and within a few years, he'll be absolutely smashing it. But actually, I think right away, Anon Cade is someone that can have a big impact. I don't know what it is in game. I imagine it's the pace that he's got, the acceleration, the agility as well, also being a high level, seems to make him really deadly, combined with some good dribbling too, and this is someone that always seems to do really well. Now, of course, you are going to have to try and battle these major teams, or at least hope that they don't buy him from Basel before you get a chance to in a season or so's time, but I mean, for 8 million quid, he is someone that could play at the highest level. I know some attributes might not look amazing just yet, but he has got a great base set to build up from, everything's looking good, and with some development, he can be world class. But now we head into our final player of this video, so if you have enjoyed it, make sure you smash the like button for us, and remember to comment your favourites from FM24 in the comments down below. But let's go and check out our final pick, and it is the Danish 19-year-old Philip Bugard of Brøndby out in Denmark. Now he's going to cost you about 7 million, and for some reason it's trying to tell me he's a winger. He is not. He is natural as a striker, and as far as pressing forwards go, he is the man you want. Remember, he's only 19 here, and just look how strong those mental attributes are. The technicals are all really good also. You could see why he could play midfield and do a good job. I mean, he's got the work rate for a pressing forward. If you have him as a standard advanced forward, he's got the holy trinity all at a good level. He's got great passing ability as well, so could even potentially play complete forward once he develops that role a little bit. He does lack a little bit in the physical department when it comes to his strength and his aerial ability. He's only got 9 and 8 for jumping reach there, but there's some pace. He's a different kind of striker, 5'9", left-footed forward. If you have him as an advanced forward, he will score you a ton of goals, I promise you. And with the determination he's got, the flair and those creative attributes on top of the goal-scoring ones, he is someone that can be a complete striker for your team. He'll get goals, he'll get assists, and he will lead the way and be your main man up top. And for 6 or 7 million, I think that's a bargain. But there we go. There's 10 Meta Wonderkids for you guys to check out in your saves. Let me know your favourites down below, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.